Good morning, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the 5 best one-time gold farms that you can do right now. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we're going to be going over one-time gold farms that you can do once per character, and that is it. Basically, this is something you can do alongside other different types of things while actually making gold, and if you have a load of alts, this can be quite beneficial for you. Aside from all of that, let's just jump into our first one at number 1, which is the Mechanical Chicken farm. Now this will require you to pick up a quest item in 3 specific zones, and that would be Feralus, Tanaris and the Hinterlands. What you're going to be wanting to do here is kill mobs until a quest item drops. This is a zone specific drop which gives you a beacon. Once you accept this quest, it takes you over to this chicken, and then you will hand that into the chicken. It's Mechanical Chicken, which you will then guard and escort to a certain area, and then it will fly away. Once that's complete, you will have to give them those quests in order to complete the main objective quest. Once you've completed all 3 quests in all 3 zones, then you will have a quest given to you within the booty bay, which will reward you with the Mechanical Chicken. Now the thing of note for this particular farm is finding a better place in order to farm this up. Obviously what I'm showing on the screen right now is the Feralus farm with the Yetis. This is predominantly my favourite area to actually go ahead and do this farm, is because the chicken is right where the Yetis are and it doesn't take that long for it to actually drop. For Tanaris, I find that SULFURON is the best one, so if you farm that regularly for transmog, then you're most likely going to get that quest item pop up numerous amounts of times until you've actually completed the quest. And what you're going to have to do is just run SULFURON, and it should drop within the next few runs of that. Because you're killing so many high density amount of mobs, you should be able to get that quest item pretty damn sharpish. The only one that I do find is a bit of a pain is the Hinterland one, but I usually either go over towards Skull Rock, which is within the Hinterlands, and also I either go over to the trolls and just kill them. And that I get the quest item a lot faster when I go and kill the trolls, but they're a bit more spaced out than I usually would like, so it depends on variance if you really wanted to actually go ahead and do that. Aside from all of that, once you've actually completed all those 3 quests, hand them into Booty Bay and you are rewarded with your Mechanical Chicken. Now, regardless from all of that, you do not need to cage this pet. Once you learn it, you will not be able to sell it. So bear that one in mind. You have to sell it as a companion, not a battle pet, because it does not have a caged pet form. So that means you're going to have to sell it the way you are given it from that quest. So do not learn it and make that mistake. I have made that mistake in the past, and at that point in time it was going for around about 40,000 gold for the Mechanical Chicken, and I lost out on that amount of gold for that pet. So that is something you may want to bear in mind or consider before you actually go ahead and do this, just as a little mental note when you're actually doing that. Which is the plans of the SULFURON hammer. This is a once per only quest for per character, and it does not require you to be a blacksmith. Failing that, if you are a blacksmith, you can actually learn these plans and make some nice gold off of the transmog item you can craft, which is the SULFURON hammer, which is used for the legendary quest line for the SULFURON hammer. Aside from all of that, what you're going to be wanting to do is pick up a SULFURON ingot. This can be done through the molten core, where you take out one of the bosses and they will drop the SULFURON ingot, or you failing that, if you don't want to run the molten core, you can just buy it off the auction house for a couple of hundred gold for the SULFURON ingot. Once you have done that, all you then have to do for this is to go into the Black Rock Depths. And once you're in the Black Rock Depths, make your way over to the Grim Guzzler. There are certain little things that you need to do in order to get over towards it, and that would be by what I've shown on the screen, running over towards where the Shadowforge key would have been, and you click this turbine type-esque thing, and then you just run your way around. Otherwise you won't be able to get into the Grim Guzzler, and it's a pain in the butt. So just bear that one in mind right there. So once you're in the actual Grim Guzzler, you'll find that there are a load of neutral NPCs. Do not attack them. You can attack them after you've given in the quest chain, otherwise you're going to have to kill all those mobs. Once you've actually done that, make your way up to the top and go over towards the quest giver. All you have to do is go down and speak to him. You do not need to accept any of the handing quests unless you want to get rep with the Thorian Brotherhood. Speak to him using the dialogue boxes and he'll ask you if you want the contract. Once you have the contract, you just give it in and it will give you the plans of the SULFURON hammer to craft. This can be sold on the auction house from anywhere from around about 10,000 towards 40,000 gold depending on your server, so I'd double check before you're doing it. And alongside that, this is a nice way in order to get some decent amount of gold if you are wanting to sell this recipe on the auction house. I primarily now sell it as my blacksmith already knows how to make the SULFURON hammer plans, but a lot of people don't really want to go through the hassle of getting a hold of the plans, and they usually tend to just buy it straight off of the auction house in order to craft, or for completionists who can't be bothered for all that stuff, which is the giant clam farm. Now this one is located within Frostfire Ridge at coordinates 22.0 to 0.9. What you're going to want to do is have Draenor fishing or WOD fishing. You can learn this at any respective fishing trainer and they'll be able to teach you this. You can learn this in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, does not really matter. And aside from that, once you've actually learned that, go over to Frostfire Ridge. Once you're over at those coordinates, all you have to do is then fish up the massive clam, which is located in those coordinates, and then it will reward you with a giant clam. All you have to do is open that clam and it will give you a toy in order to sell on the auction house. This can fetch a pretty penny, it depends on your server's pricing, of course, but alongside this, toy collectors usually tend to just go ahead and buy this, and I find that this is an easy way in order to make a couple of thousand gold for really not that much time invested. All you have to really do is just go over to your garrison. If you already have fishing, fly over there, fish it up, and you've got a nice toy to sell on the auction house for a little bit of extra gold. So that's a nice way to pad out your auction house with a load of toys. Alongside that, let's just jump over to our next one at number 4, which is the Hungering Claw. This is done by Cosmoth, and this is over in the Eye of Ajara. What you're going to be wanting to do is jump from Dalaran and fly over towards the Eye of Ajara. Do not go into the dungeon because that's the wrong way of doing it. You want to go into the open world zone of the Eye of Ajara and you will see Cosmoth there. Once you're there, all you have to do is take him out and he has a chance of dropping the Hungering Claw pet. This pet can actually fetch a decent amount of gold on the auction house, and in the grand scheme of things it doesn't take that long to actually sell this battle pet. I tend to do this on multiple of my ults and I find that this sells relatively well for the price that is given. The price for this does vary from server to server, but the average is anywhere from around about 800 towards around about 3,000 gold depending on your server, so I'd highly recommend double checking before you actually invest any time going in toward this one. But aside from that, I do find it's actually worthwhile if you are wanting to sell pets. That being the case, let's go over to our last and final one at number 5, which is the SHADOWMOURNE quest chain. Now the SHADOWMOURNE quest chain, I actually did a video series a little while back on how to do all of the different things, on how to get started, how to do all that, but let's do a brief summarization for all of this. SHADOWMOURNE gives a chance of dropping, once you've actually completed the quest chain, to give you a legendary item, which you can't sell, but it's a nice transmog item, which my warrior always has on. But you do get a load of extra things, which is the Crimson Death Charge amount, which can go from anywhere from like 500,000 towards 1 million gold depending on your server, and also a load of other different types of knickknacks like toys, necklaces and all that stuff, which is very handy, and they do sell for a decent amount of gold. My favourite thing is the tabard of the Lightbringer, which I generally just keep because it's just awesome and it looks awesome as hell. It reminds me of the old school vanilla-esque stuff as well, so it works well with my judgment gear. So overall, the SHADOWMOURNE questline is quite well. I'd highly recommend checking out my series on that because that will get you started. You will need to be friendly with the Ashen Verdict, but overall all of the information will be regarded there, and I'll link it in the video description if you want to get started. So from all of that, guys, that's pretty much everything I have to say for the 5 best one-time gold farms that you can do right now. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.